The Xiaomi Mi Mix 2S is an upgraded Mix 2 that is supposed to make an already great phone even better. It packs more power and a much better camera. I was able to test the global version of the Mix 2S and here are the results. I am Christopher for CMM. Enjoy watching this review. The Mi Mix 2S Global was provided by GearBest for this review. A link to the shop is placed down in the video description. Design-wise, the Mix 2S doesn't pack much changes compared to the Mix 2S. If you are not looking very closely, the phones look pretty much identical. Only when looking at the back of the phone there is a visible difference. The back is still made from ceramic with this nice metallic sheen, but the camera module looks totally different, being larger and situated on the upper left corner instead of a centered position. And when taking an even closer look, there is another surprising difference. For some reason, the Mi Mix 2S got a little smaller. It boasts 1mm less in height, 0.6mm less in width, and in exchange got 0.3mm thicker. The weight got a little higher and now is 193 grams. In terms of build quality, the Mix 2S doesn't have any flaws at all. It's a high-end phone and you really feel that when touching it. The screen is great once again. Xiaomi still uses the same 5.99-inch 18:9 LCD screen with 2160 by 1080 resolution that boasts a great picture quality with vivid but natural colors and a very good contrast ratio as well as deep blacks. In addition, outdoor readability is really good, not only due to the contrast but also because of the brightness of up to 585 nits. The 10-point touchscreen does a great job and reacts very speedy and precise to every touch. Fast typing thus is a breeze. The screen glass feels really good with a decent slip. It also doesn't attract fingerprints too much and it's easy to clean. Powered by a Snapdragon 845, the Mix 2S takes a big jump upwards in the performance department. It's a performance monster proven by an Antutu score of a whopping 265,136 points. Needless to say that it's quite hard to find anything that makes this phone stutter. But to be honest, this was the case with the Mix 2 already, so in the end it's likely that you will only notice a very minor difference at best. Something that stood out to me in a negative way was the heat while running GFX Bench. The phone's back reached a peak temperature of 61 degrees Celsius, which is more than just uncomfortable. It hurts. But don't worry, this never happened in actual real-life use, but only in benchmarks. If you wonder why, the reason likely is that Xiaomi disables thermal throttling to achieve high scores. This is confirmed when running a throttle test. After just a couple of minutes, the CPU starts to reduce its clock throttling by around 26%. And this is what keeps the phone cool. Luckily, you don't notice any of that thermal throttling. Even very demanding games run buttery smooth on highest graphics settings and it stays like that when playing them for a longer time. In terms of RAM speed, the Mi Mix 2S is a record breaker. The phone packs up to 8GB of LPDDR4 dual channel RAM and in the benchmark it reached a throughput of 20GB per second, which is the highest value I measured on a phone to date. Internal storage, which offers up to 256GB of capacity and cannot be expanded, is speedy as well. It's UFS 2.1 storage and reaches around 700MB per second of reading speed. Writing speed seems a little slow though, which might be related to data encryption. The Mix 2S packs a lot of sensors, including gyroscope and compass, which all work without any issues. The fingerprint scanner on the back works great, it's extremely reliable even with wet fingers and is stunningly fast. Touching it makes the home screen appear with as good as no delay, which is awesome. As the predecessor, the Mix 2S packs a notification LED on its front below the screen, which only lights up in white. The Type-C port supports OTG and USB 3.0 and thus offers fast data rates, but once again no video output. The global version of the Mix 2S already runs the global version of MIUI 9.5 during the test with security patch from March 2018. The global version offers a couple of advantages like multi-language support for international use, and the Play Store comes pre-installed as well and boasts Google certification. In addition, MIUI Global comes with less bloatware, and the bit of bloat that still exists can be uninstalled. One difference to the Chinese Mix2S firmware is that the global ROM does not support face unlock at the moment, but this will likely be added later on. One weakness of all Xiaomi phones, including the Mix2S, is the missing Widevine Level 1 support, which means that you can't stream HD content from Netflix, for example, which is disappointing especially on high-end devices. The Mix2S packs support for most of the important network bands, including band 20 LTE. If you want more, you can get global network support with the 256GB model. Reception quality of the Mix2S has been top-notch during my tests. The phone also supports dual-band AC Wi-Fi with 2x2 MIMO, thus offering a decent speed. The Wi-Fi reception quality is top-notch as well. Bluetooth 5.0 is supported as well, and during a test with Bluetooth headphones covered a roll floor without any interruptions. The Mix2S also boasts NFC support, and the antenna seems relatively large since you don't need precise alignment to scan NFC tags. During my GPS tests, the Mix2S performed great as well. Signal strength is awesome, and even inside a building you still get green bars. GPS tracking works very accurate, and it really doesn't matter if you track inside a bicycle mount or your jeans pocket. Navigation worked like a charm too, even during bad weather. One weakness of the predecessor was stereo sound of the internal speakers. The earpiece, which is used as a secondary speaker, is too weak and thus loses against the speaker inside the frame. This hasn't been changed on the Mix2S. While general audio quality is really good, the stereo effect mostly isn't noticeable. The Mix2S lacks a 3.5mm headphone jack, but Xiaomi includes a Type-C to 3.5mm adapter, which sounds really good. As with all the Xiaomi phones, there are headphone presets and a system-wide equalizer in the audio settings. Telephony quality is great, voice is clearly understandable on both ends, even without HD voice or voice over LTE, and in addition, the noise cancelling works just great. I have had no issues dropping a call while cycling, despite the Airstream. Camera-wise, the Mix2S has changed a lot. The main camera now is a dual camera consisting of a 12MP Sony IMX363 with f1.8 aperture and a 12MP Samsung S5K3M3 with f2.4 aperture and 2x optical zoom. The module boasts 4-axis optical image stabilization. The front camera remains unchanged with a 5MP OmniVision OV5675 with f2.0 aperture. The main camera is a giant step forward compared to the Mix2. Comparing the pictures of the Mix2S to the Mix2, you will notice that the amount of detail, especially on faraway objects, has been increased dramatically. Fine structures look a lot more crisp, making the pictures look less mushy. In addition, the dynamic range of the camera has been improved a lot as well. When taking pictures with bright and dark areas, you will notice that dark areas look a lot brighter and more detailed on the Mix2S. And colors look better as well. Yes, they might be a bit too intense in some cases, but at least this annoying reddish tint of the Mix2 is gone, which makes pictures look more natural despite the intense colors. The optical zoom works great and delivers nearly lossless shots. The optical image stabilization helps a lot to achieve sharp shots when using the 2x zoom. What's new is an AI feature which detects the object you are taking a picture of and tries to adjust the settings accordingly. But to be honest, the AI is far behind a Huawei P20 Pro, and pretty much all it does is to create slightly more vivid colors. In the end, the difference is very small, which is why I personally kept AI turned off most of the time. What did impress me the most about the Mix 2S camera is its low light performance. The Mix 2S does a giant step forward in this department and comes impressively close to the Huawei P20 Pro. Even when not using any long exposure settings, you can do great night shots with this camera. It really is insane how much light it is able to capture with near to no shutter delay. Shooting with the LED flash also benefits from that and enables you to take quality pictures inside larger rooms using the flash. Using manual mode and long exposure along a tripod is where the Mix 2S is still behind a Huawei P20 Pro or a OnePlus 5T. The maximum exposure time is 32 seconds, but the phone captures a lot less light than the mentioned competitors. Taking pictures of stars, for example, isn't possible with the Mix 2S, and also colors don't seem as realistic when using long exposure. Something I personally was very disappointed with is the bokeh aka portrait mode of the Mix 2S. This one is only good for taking pictures of people. When trying to take bokeh shots of other objects like flowers, it most of the time fails, blurs edges or misses some areas where a bokeh effect should be applied. What's kind of annoying too is that in bokeh mode the camera zooms in a lot without any stabilization, which often results in blurred pictures. The front camera delivers identical results with the Mix 2. At daylight, selfies look great, but the less light available, the less quality pictures you will get. When recording videos, the main camera supports up to Ultra HD resolution at 30 fps. The quality of the videos is great and the continuous autofocus is extremely fast. One flaw, however, is that the focus reacts very jerky. I personally would like to have a smoother focus transition. The optical 4-axis image stabilization does work, but like on previous Xiaomi devices, does too many abrupt movements, which means that the videos still look a little shaky when walking. The front camera can record Full HD footage and at daylight offers a really good quality. Unfortunately, it reacts quite slow to changes in lighting, which often causes an overexposed picture. One typical Xiaomi bug is present on the Mix 2S again. Audio quality of recorded videos isn't good at all. Voice sounds flat and background noise sounds a bit like underwater recordings. Now this is an issue most new Xiaomi phones have, but usually it is fixed after a while, so let's see if this will be the case for the Mix 2S as well. This is a 4K video sample recorded on the Xiaomi Mi Mix 2S. One last highlight that needs to be mentioned is slow motion recording. The Mix 2S supports up to 240 fps at full HD resolution, and that without any limit regarding the recording time. Battery-wise, the Mix 2S remains unchanged. It still packs the same 3500 mAh cell of its predecessor, which wasn't the best thing to do in my opinion. Battery life is significantly worse on the Mix 2S with a screen on time of around 7.5 hours compared to over 9 hours on the Mix 2. But don't worry, it still is enough to get through one day easily. Fast charging is done via Quick Charge 3.0 and takes 1.5 hours for a charge from 20 to 100%. What's new is support for Qi wireless fast charging with up to 10 watts. Wireless charging the phone takes 2 hours and 45 minutes. So, what's the verdict? Well, the Mi Mix 2S is definitely the king of the Mix series, not only due to its power, but also due to the much improved camera. In my opinion, this is the best camera ever built into a Xiaomi phone, and especially low light performance is just great. Is it worth switching from the Mix 2 to the Mix 2S? Maybe not for performance, but for the camera it definitely is. Bottom line, at a price tag starting at 420 euros when it's on sale, the Mix 2S is a great offering with a more than decent price-performance ratio. And with that being said, we reached the end of this review. A shop link and more information are located down in the video description. I was Christopher for CMM, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.